Right. So basic HTML document, we have talked about that. And I will be very quickly just taking a review of last class because it's been a long time that we last our last class happened because of the family day weekend, like a holiday. So now we have talked about the basic page structure of HTML. And if you remember, we have talked about that there are multiple main sections in it. And the first one is we said that it's not a tag or an element. It's basically a declaration of HTML5 that we are using HTML5. And then there are three main sections in our HTML document. The one is HTML and end HTML. That also is called the root element of the HTML document. And as well as this will be okay. So you need to find the recordings. I will let you know. I think it should be there, but again, if it is not there, I'll share the link of it. So please, if you don't see the link, maybe today after today's lecture, so just let me know. I will upload those links. Okay, so we said that this is one first element, which is the root element, HTML, and then we have two main sections in our HTML document. One is called head, and one is called body. And we said that head, other than this title tag inside head, which is inside head, nothing has a direct visibility on our web page. Rather, on our web page, we only see this title. And you remember where did we see that title? And let me just copy and paste this into. So I would be expecting all of you to have, for example, a page setup, like a folder setup for this week 6, and we will be just working over here. So this was our main HTML document. So if you see here that we have got this HTML document where, as I said, that this is the main section HTML. Then we talked about there is another section head, which has a title tag, and the title tag is directly visible on our web page somewhere. But other than this title, nothing is visible. Other than this title, everything that goes inside this head is the meta information, the information about the website, where what character set you are using, what are the words through which you want this website to be searchable, and things like that. So it was all about that specifically. And then we talked about there is another very important section, and that is the body section. And the body section is one that we said that is the one most important part, where we will be just including each and everything. We will have everything added to this document, HTML, a body, right? So this was something that we have talked about. And then we talked about the like heading levels, and we said that there is something called H1 up till H6. You remember that we talked about the last heading level, it's the H6, the smallest, right? And we said that we can just run this. Okay, if you want to run that, hopefully you know that how to run it. And I'm just running it in the same way as we have run previously on my 300, like the 3000 uh, port, running through the server. So this is the website that is running, so we'll be just looking at it. All right. And then we talked about like I discussed three things before. I talked about this something called a tag, and we said that tag is what? The combination of less than, greater than sign, something in between, it's tag. And then we talked about elements, and we said that element is the starting of tag plus anything in between, and the ending of tag is basically our element. And then we talked about something different, and we said that there is something called what was that called? Anyone? Can anyone help me out? My tag, I'm just writing. And what was that we talked about in our last class? Entities. Thank you very much. Someone has replied entities. So yes, entities are there. And you remember we talked about that whenever you just make something like this less than and this greater than, this will they will be just creating something like that. So we talked about the entities as well, right? And what else did we talk about? Because I want to just start or base my today's lecture on our last discussion. Where did we end? We ended at somewhere, and now we want to start our discussion from here. So can anyone tell me that where did we stop, or where did we say that now this is the last part of it, and now we will be just discussing some other things? Anyhow, so let's start our today's session. I don't know if someone will remember that or not. So let's start making or talking about some of the other tags in HTML. Please keep in mind that right now we are not talking about anything related to the design. Why? You know, in the beginning I said that these three technologies that we are learning here, JavaScript, then HTML, and then CSS. So we are going to discuss CSS shortly in coming weeks. And CSS will be handling all those material like, you know, design related issues. What will be the color of the fonts, how my different sections of document will look like, what color scheme I will use. Everything of that sort will be just going and discuss in CSS. So right now, what we see, if you see that again, that the document that we are creating, it's very, you know, very simple in nature, and it has got some default style that a browser implements, and other than that, we are not implementing any style. And what only thing it is doing is that basically it's just rendering all the fonts. When I give H1, it renders it out. When I give H6, it renders it out. When I give an entity to it, it just renders it out and displays according to that, right? So let's talk about something, and let's try to make a page. And that, you remember that we talked about that we'll be just making a page here, and here I will be discussing few different things inside that. So for example, if I say this is my main heading because it's H1, so under this H1 we'll start talking about all those different aspects that we want to. So again, structurally representing the text, you remember we talked about the semantic representation of the document, semantic representation of the HTML. So there is, as I said, there are certain tags which are semantically understandable. There are certain tags which are not semantically understandable, not so. Like for example, if I say H1, H1 is physically or syntax wise, we know that H1 means that text should be the biggest of the biggest size, and so and so and so. But if you talk about, if I ask you that what is the if I ultimately talk about what is the structural or semantical meaning of H1, of course, right now you can say that H1 means are the biggest tag. But we talked about that there are certain tags that they are semantically understandable. But anyhow, we'll be just going through all those tags during today. Okay, now there are certain interesting. Did we discuss this one? ABBR abbreviation. Anyone? Did we discuss this abbreviation tag? Okay. Oh, okay, okay. I will just tell you. Just don't worry about that. That for semantic right now. I will discuss that. Okay, no problem. So there is another tag which is called ABBR, which is the abbreviation. For example, if I write HTML and I make another ABBR, what is this? It's abbreviation. And let me tell you what happens when we do that. And let me just do that. For example, I say CSS, right? So these are the abbreviations that we have tag used. Now, someone is asking question about the semantics. You will get a very good sense of that as well. Now, H1, when I say H1, H1 is the heading one. But other than heading one, can you guess what it will be? Of course, this heading can be my main heading, or it can be my text. It can be anything at all. So when you say ABBR, this tag represents semantics meaning, semantical meanings. What does that mean? Abbreviation. So whatever will be coming inside that will be the abbreviations that we are talking about. Anyhow, so ABBR, it represents the abbreviation. And how we will know what is the abbreviation? Typically, we'll say title equal to hypertext markup language, right? Hypertext markup language. Now, same here, same. Likewise, what I'll do here is cascading style sheets. Now, what happens? Let's save it and now run it. You see here that you find this HTML and CSS with a dotted underline over here. What does that mean? When I will take my cursor over them, it will show me the title that you have given to it. And if you see that I have not given this abbreviation, like I have not given title to this third HTML, let's change it. It's not HTML, it's JS, maybe JavaScript, right? So if I save this one and I run it, you see that HTML and CSS both have this underline something in like after that, and JS does not have an underline, dotted underline. What does that mean? If I take my cursor to CSS, it will tell me cascading style sheet. If I take my cursor over HTML, it will tell me hypertext markup language. So abbreviation is a tag that is used to reference something like the short forms of the words, and then you can just provide them in title. If you want that user will be curious enough to find out what is HTML, So they'll just technically go there and they will just put up their cursor over there, and this tooltip text will tell them that this is hypertext markup, this is CSS. Like now, if I want to do the same for the JavaScript, title is equal to JavaScript. Very simple. JavaScript with a single T. Now, if you see that now JavaScript does also have that, right? Okay, so that means we are talking about the abbreviation tag. So this is one important tag that you might. One thing I want you people to notice, and I have discussed that as well. When I've written down H1, you see this is the H1. This is my main heading H1, and this is let me just inspect that over here, and I'll show you the elements over here. So if you see here inside the body, if I go to this one, so you see this one is the H1. I hope all of you can see that H1. This is my tag, H1. And these are 3 ABBR, abbreviation tag. Do you find anything different between these two tags, these two types of tags? The one is H1, the second one is ABBR. What is different about these two tags? Do you understand what is the difference about that?
The style is different.
Yeah, style is different. What does that mean? Style is different. The thing is, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, no. Style is different means that the color, the font, the size, it's
that's
different.
very good. Other than that, there are some differences. Yes, this is the very good answer. If you can see the last answer given by one of your colleagues, they aren't separated by a line break. Of course, here I want you to just understand one very important concept. There are two categories of tag that we use. One of them are called block level tags, and one of them are called inline tags. So which one is block level, which was inline? Very clear. This H1 is a block level tag. You see that H1 is occupying a complete block, a complete box sort, right? And on the other hand, if I talk about ABBR is coming in the single line. So whenever a tag is a block level tag, I will discuss that block level as well today. We'll do a very good example of that. But anyhow, I want you to just take away this concept from here, that a block level tag is a tag that occupies, that has its own space for everything. So this main heading, nothing, I cannot place anything after this main heading. Why? Because this is a block level tag. And if you talk about this one, I can place anything after that. I placed ABBR, hypertext markup, and then I placed another ABBR. Both are coming alongside. Exactly. Yes, you are right. All H tags, and there are some other tags as well. We'll talk about them. They are block level. Correct. Very correct. Now let's talk about something. Now this was the talk about the. So I want you to just take away this another thing which was not directly part of here, but I want you to just take a reference of it. So then we have got another tag, or maybe you can just say, for example, what is today's date? We can just mark today's date. For example, this is February and today is 17th, right? I've just marked a date. So this, for example, not like this, rather I should do something like that. Control S, I am saying date and time. I'm talking about date and time. So if you want to talk about date and time, the semantical tag that is used to represent date and time is basically time tag. Time tag. And inside that time tag, I will represent this date. And why? There is a reason. So first of all, you should remember, we usually for semantic purposes, what we do is that we try to place our date and time inside the tag, inside the time tag. And there is something called an attribute. Have we discussed attributes in last class? Of course, I would have discussed that attributes, the extra functionality of the tag. Did we discuss about the attributes in last class? Can anyone just quickly remind me? Okay, right. Thank you. So now time has an attribute, and what is that? Date time. Now semantically providing it more and more information. For example, I say this date time, and I say, for example, today. This is today about that, right? And if I say, for example, if I just copy and paste this one and I say date and time, and I just make it 18th February. So what I can call it tomorrow, anything. So what I'm trying to say here, I'm trying to say that this date time will give the semantical meaning of that. And now when a crawler will come and try to find out when this article was last edited, when this element was, when this article was last accessed or element or whatever. So that date will represent that. So what crawler, what search engine will do? They will come to my time tag and find out what is the date time. Okay, so the date time is 17/2/2021. I hope you are understanding that. So again, this is the text of the element. This is the text of the element, but we are talking about the tags attribute which will give extra information to the outside world. Right? Right. So this is related to time and date. Now, if I have not discussed it, there is another tag called address. Right? Let's talk about the address. This is very interesting. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm talking about the address of Seneca. You can say any road, Block Line Road, whatever. I don't know the address. Oh, that's very bad. Anyhow, so you want to say Toronto, and you want to say, for example, N1 and L21. I don't know. So I'm just okay. Someone is unmuted by mistake. Looks like. Please mute yourself. L2L. So I wanted to write this address. So now what I've done is that I have tried to place that address in a typical, but let's see something very interesting. So I have got this address. Okay, after this date time, I have got this address. Okay, so you remember, let's make it a bit more clearer. You remember that we can put a line break by using BR. BR will put a line break. So let's put a line break so that it becomes a good visible. So we can see, oh, where did I put the line? I was at the right place, but let's play it one more BR, maybe. I want to separate that out, maybe, and we can do that multiple ways. So yes, you can see that now 1, 2, 3 Block Line Road, Toronto. So now what if I want to have this address something like this? I want 1, 2, 3, 4 Block Line Road and then a new line, and then this should come in a new line. Sorry, this should come in a new line, like the postal code should come in a new line. Will it come? So will it come in the same way as I've mentioned it? Save this and run this one. No, it is coming in the same way. It means HTML does not recognizes our new lines. HTML does not recognizes our spaces. Rather, you need to explicitly tell us to give spaces if you are talking about the normal tags, right? Other than those block level tags, if you are using a block level tag like this one, date and time, you saw that it has automatically created few like some space above it, some space after it. But if you say that you have to give something like this and you want your address something like this, you need to do it manually by using what? BR. What is this BR? Line break, right? And another line break I'm giving over here so that this address is completely visible. Now let's run this one. Do you see the address now in exactly the same way as I wanted it to appear? Right? So it means that the address, or like anything that you want to give a new line, HTML never recognizes these spaces. For example, if I give lots of spaces over here, for example, if I give the lots of spaces over here, it does not mind. Like HTML just renders everything unless you give it a space, a typical meaning, typical name. It won't provide. It won't give out that space over there. So far, so good. Everyone is getting what I'm saying? Okay. And then there is very interesting concept. I think I discussed, I don't know I discussed or not. Please correct me if I'm wrong. There is, I need to check some text. So, you know, we have got some, you remember we have talked about this lorem. Have we talked about this lorem ipsum? Okay. That's very nice. So it means that we have talked about that. So I will be just very quickly going through that. So I want to create a few paragraphs. So I'll do a P and this lorem ipsum text. Now cut this from here and go to the end of this line. And I can even place it over here, you know, because it will just go behind that. So now I've created this one paragraph and I want to just copy and paste this paragraph 2 or 3 times just to have a document that shows few paragraphs. Now save this one and now run this. So now we have got certain paragraphs with it, and these paragraphs are coming from our, you know, lorem ipsum. It does not look so very attractive. Let's try to make it a bit more attractive, and let's remove few p's from in between so that 2 of them become like, you know, one paragraph, or maybe multiple become one
Can
paragraph.
you copy and paste your code in the comment?
Where on that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do that. So I'm just copying everything from body, right?
Yeah.
So just keep in mind it's from the body.
Thank you.
Let's see how much of. So again, you can just check that lorem ipsum by yourself. Okay, so now we have got something, and this might show us a bit of realistic or bit of more text form. So this is one paragraph, this is the second paragraph, this is the third paragraph. And again, I don't want it to show that these two should be combined into one paragraph. Very easy. I will just delete them and these two will become one paragraph. Okay, so now I've got these two main paragraphs in my document. Right, so far everyone is understanding what we are discussing. Okay, now what we want. So there are lots of like components that we can use in our HTML pages. By component, I mean the media that we can use. So we have got certain media that we can use. So after date and time, maybe after address, let's put some heading. After address, I have come here and I'm placing an H2. Again, the sub-level for sub-level heading. H2, and inside H2 I say media. So let's talk about some of the media that we can just embed in our web page. I'm talking about media first. So media, and here I will just collect all the media that we have. Media, right? So it's here before the text and after our address, media. And the first media I want to talk about here is images. Images. How to embed images in our HTML pages. Right? So this is very easy. We have got a tag for images, IMG, and IMG has these two very important attributes, SRC and ALT. Now, if you see, you can see in my folder, I've just already drawn some, like I've just already copied a video of myself, my lecture, and there are two pictures. So I want all of you to just copy one picture or two pictures, whatever you want, and a video inside that. But you can do it on your own. But let's copy one picture out of it, and you can just paste the URL as well. So the picture can be placed here by using an absolute URL or a relative URL, right? So let's talk about first of all unsplash.jpg. Do you see that picture in my? I've just copied this from Unsplash and I've just copied it over here. My picture. I hope this is a picture of something nice, right? Okay. So my picture, I've just given that, I've saved it. IMG SRC equal to unsplash.jpg, alt is equal to my picture. Now, if you run that file, you see that picture is coming over here, right? There is a chat message. Let me see that. Okay, so what is the difference between, question is, what is the difference between JPG and JPEG? So the good old days when picture, the picture format was just introduced or pictures were starting to come, they came up with this JPEG format, Joint Photographic Enhanced Group, and later on it was named as .jpg. So these are the compression algorithms typically. In pictures, the extensions that you see, .jpg, .jpeg, .gif, all those things, they are typically the compression algorithms that provide different level of compression to the pages. First, number one. Number two, both of them represent the same concept, but in good old days, our operating systems used to only recognize three letters as the extension. So they used to recognize only 3 letters as the extension. But now if you see that those operating systems and later on the operating system started to recognize more and more letters with the extension. So now we can have this .jpeg. As you see here, index.html you see here. In good old days, we used to call them index.html. So again, in general, there is no difference. But again, these are both the compression techniques or the picture formats for the pictures. But you need to look at it, that if the picture that you're using, be it like, is it a JPG or is it a JPEG, right? So now let's talk about that. So image SRC and Splash. Now I can see a picture over here. That's good. Now my web page. Oh, image is not showing. PNG. Okay, so it should show. What is the problem? Do you see the same code that we are using here? Unsplash.png. I'm supposing your picture name is PNG. My unsplash.png you are writing. Image SRC equal to, and please make sure that tag is also closed over here. Okay, why not? I can scroll up. You want me to go down and go up, like you want me to go up, right?
Go up.
Yes.
Go up.
Okay. Okay. Yes, so now you are able to get the picture. Okay, image screen 11.png or okay, screenshot 11.png. Okay, so can you just rename that file? Maybe it's not the problem. Can you have you copied that image screen.11.jpg into your folder of week 6, whatever folder you are working in? You have copied that, and can you rename it to something simpler, more like other than these parentheses? Just rename it abc.png, maybe rename that abc.png. Yeah, try that and quickly let me know, because if you are stuck here, I will just, yes, I will tell you, just don't worry, adjust the size of the picture. Now the picture, sometimes your picture will be, maybe the picture that you have brought in will be very big picture. So yes, of course, the second thing comes in your mind is that how can I set up the picture width? And so there are attributes for this: width and height. So if I do width is equal to, for example, 500, right? And there is a height equal to maybe 500. I'm just trying something. Let's see what happens to me. So my picture has gone, a bit of different shape. And for your information, let me tell you an interesting thing. There is something called an aspect ratio. Are you familiar with that? If you are not, I'm just writing it over here. There is something called an aspect ratio. Aspect ratio. The browser itself try to find, if you just give a width of 500, it will do that aspect ratio, which basically settles the picture according to its original width and height. So if I just give a 500 width, what it does is it will just try to fix that according to that, and it will just try to fix the height according to that aspect ratio that goes together. If you just change the width, the height will change by itself. You got the answer? How to adjust the size of the picture? You got the answer? Okay, that's very good. So you got the answer, how to adjust the size of the picture. So basically you can do what you can. Okay, so you can do if you just only give a width, so that will set by itself. For example, if I let me make it a 400, and the height will go according to that aspect ratio. So I don't need to worry about the height. So just give one of the attribute and just don't worry about the other one, which is called aspect ratio, not ration. So aspect ratio, which is basically the height and width equal distribution. So it will do height and width equal distribution, and you just don't need to worry about it. So you just give a height, width or a height. So far so good. Everyone is able to get the pictures over here. That's very good. So people are able to get the pictures over here, right? So this is the first thing that we have talked about. Like if you want to bring images here. Now if you want to bring videos or audios, H3, I'm talking about videos or audios. You can do both, videos or audios. So this HTML5 has provided us a very nice tag, which is video, right? And let me tell you a shortcut. I think you would be seeing that I'm using a shortcut. Let me tell you, whatever tag you want to make, you just write that, the inside text of that tag, as I've written down, video, and press tab button. Are you getting that? So if you just press a tab button, you will get the complete tag. For example, for the example purpose, I'm saying that I write a P and I write a tab sign. So just P, not tab sign, not the tag sign. So you just write a P and press a tab button. You will get the complete tag inside that. I hope everyone is able to do that and understanding what I'm saying. Can everyone use this shortcut for bringing up the font or bringing up the tags? Because you don't need to type the tag altogether. No, you just need to do what? I'm just writing video. Yes, I'm just writing video and pressing tab like tab key. So you will get that, you'll get that your whatever you have. Okay, so now I want you to just copy a video over here. You see that views FOL, this is my lecture video. I've just copied it in my folder, views FOL.mp4. So now I will just run this one, views FOL.mp4, right? And I will play with it. First of all, I want all of you to just bring a video over here, and then we'll start playing with it. Save this one, and let's see if it shows my video. Okay, it shows my video, which is of course a very big size. Now let's start playing with it. It's a very huge size. So now you people know that how to make a size change. width equal to, I'll make it exactly the same size of picture so that they both look synchronized. Width is equal to 400. Now let's see that. Now I can see a video over here, right? Everyone can see that video, but the video is neither running nor it has any controls. So now we have got some attributes of video that we can use for making it visible to making it visible. First of all, I want it video to autoplay. The first attribute, no value for this, just attribute autoplay. I want it to automatically play when my page loads. So you see that. Hopefully it should run. It's not running. It should run. Why not starting? Autoplay. I use the right word. Have I saved it? Saved. All right, let's see. Yeah. So now see, it's running. But now another problem. The problem is that I don't have any controls over it. So let's come here and write down controls. And not only this one, I'm using muted as well. So you can use these three attributes: autoplay, control, muted. Now you see here. Now I want it to autoplay. I want it to be like it has controls and it should be muted. You see, my video is already muted. Yes, it's very cool. You're right. So do you find it very interesting embedding your own videos on your web page? Now this will give you a very quick sense of, like, you know, you can just place videos, you can place whatever you want, and even today you will just enjoy that, because after today you will be able to make a very good web page in HTML, and then by scaffolding on that we will be just trying to create, you know, the links and all those things. Oh yes, I was about to come to that. Right? Yes, we can do everything, but you know, as what I said, that please bear with me right now. I'm not changing the font or anything. I will do all these things by using the CSS. You got my point? We can change the fonts. We can do lots of things. And yes, we can add the domains. I will let you know. Just don't worry. I will let you know how we can do that. Now, someone has asked, can I use a YouTube video? Now let's talk about that. To bring a YouTube video, what we'll do, we need to. So I'm putting a tag YouTube video, right? Or something, whatever you want to write. YouTube videos. So to make YouTube video, we have a tag called embed. We need to use embed tag. First of all, you all use this embed. Right? So okay, rather than embed tag, just hold on. Just hold on a minute. You go to your YouTube, first of all. Let me just open up a video on YouTube. I'll go to that and I will just bring up one video. Okay, so you see here, I've got a video running. I've got this video running. So now please, all of you on this YouTube video, you go to this share, and here you will find embed. Do you see, everyone see that embed? So you just go to the video and press embed. So you will get a code over here, right? Just copy this code from here. Copy this one, right? What I've done, share, embed, and the code copied. Now just minimize it, and I've just removed that embed tag, right? I'm just using the YouTube videos. Now come here and just place this one, the tag that has been received to you. I'll just show you that. Do you see that we have got an iframe? An iframe is called inline frame, a frame within a page. So an inline frame has been embedded over here, whose width is 560, height is 315, SRC is something like this with the video that I have just copied, and I have frame border equal to 0, allow is equal to accelerometer. So there are different attributes that it has given by itself. So just no need to right now change those attributes, and just save that, allow full screen. That's also possible. Now go that, and I'm closing that YouTube video, and now I want to run this one. Do you see the YouTube video over here as well? Isn't that more cool? Having a YouTube video on your page. And let's do it again the same way as I've done, because I want everything to be a sync form. 400 width and I don't know what it'll do. Let's remove height and let it do, you know, the default one. I don't know if it minds it. Okay, so it has not minded, but again, it looks a very small one, right? So 500, like it's the video, YouTube video, which is coming over here. Everyone getting that? So someone asked a question, can we add domains? Yes, we can add domains. Let me show you something interesting. Let me show you something interesting. Unsplash, I'm going to Unsplash, and I take pictures of, I usually take pictures of trees. Let's go to tree, and let's take this beautiful tree, the weather for which we are all waiting. And I'm just right clicking it and copy image address. I just copied the image address, right? Copy image address and come to your page, and let's put another image. This is one of the image that I've used. Like I am using another image, img tag, and I've copied that one, right? Unsplash image. So you see that I've copied one another image. Now save that. I've not given any height and width. Of course, it will come very big, but then I can just do that as well. So if you see here, it's a very big picture coming over here, which I don't like. And I would like it to be what? Width equal to 400, because I'm going on 400 continuously. So aspect ratio will set it. Okay. I'll see that. You say that video is not running. I'll see that why it's not running. Okay, so it's width and height, of course, is different, and we'll talk about that, how to settle that one. But let's set its height as well. Height equal to maybe 300 or something. I don't know how much is the height of our elements. You'll see that. Okay, less than that. Let me make it a bit more realistic so that it looks good. Like again, it's a picture coming with my picture, so I would like to. Oh, very near. We are reaching near, but we are still not up to mark. So 260 should work, hopefully. Okay. Oh, it's gone somewhere else. 70. All right. So anyhow, but let's try to make it as. So we are not going to perfect. So video not playing. How many of you say that video is not playing? Otherwise, like I have this player, and this controls over here. Now maybe you have forgotten to, you forgot to write those. Yes, everyone should be playing. So you maybe you forgot to mention that play controls muted audio or autoplay and controls. I think you forgot to mention that autoplay and controls. Can you check that the video is not playing? No, the YouTube one. Okay, YouTube one. Let's check that. I can run YouTube videos as well. You see that it's running now. I can run that. Right? Why is it not running on your side? I don't know. Okay, so can you just try it out, if there is a problem, we'll just come back, no problems. Okay, so someone asked a question and I replied to it. There is one thing which is called an absolute URL, and there is something which is called a relative URL. Absolute and relative URL. Right? What does that mean by absolute URL? The URL that I'm using over here is an absolute URL, which is coming from HTTPS something like that. And here what I'm using is a relative URL. Relative means this views fol.mp4 is inside my folder, my same folder which I'm working on. So it's basically stored inside that. You got it? So this link, like this one above, this is called relative URL. And I can use relative URL, like relative address, or I can use what? The absolute URL. Is that right? Everyone is understanding that? Okay, that's good. Everyone is trying to make sense of it. Okay, now let's talk about something interesting. So I am expecting all of you to see something like this, a web page that has 2 pictures maybe right now. And then after 2 pictures, you have got one video that is coming from your own folder. that is coming from the relative part, and there is one video that has been embedded from the HTML. So are you able to run that HTML video, YouTube video now? Someone who was having problem, are you able to run that now, the YouTube video, or still not? No reply. Oh, okay, no problem. You can just try it on your free time, right? No problems, no issues. Now let's talk about something interesting something more interesting here. There is something called a link, like referencing, which is the most important part of an HTML page. Now, how to make a link? Let's talk about this. So we have got that anchor tag for that. Let me just make that anchor tag by using that same technique. Ahref equal to, right? Ahref equal to. So whatever is basically whatever I want to, wherever I want to link my page to, I will mention it over here. And whatever text I want to display will come over here. For example, if I write Google, I want to connect this part to the Google, and let's make it an H2 as well, because that will show it a bit more. So I made it an H2. I want to connect it to the Google. So now what I will do, just listen. I will have to use the absolute URL, https://www.google.com. Why? Because it's an absolute, and I have to just use that. So if you use that, I will just copy and paste this in the chat window, so that if someone is not following correctly, they will be able to do that. So now we have just added this one, google.com. Now save this file, and run your page. So do you see the Google link over here, which is a bit of maroon color, because we visit Google a number of times, so it's showing a visible, like it's visited link. So if I go and click on this Google, you see what happens. Do you see that? This is called linking, like making links. And this A is called anchor tag. Anchor tag with href will give you a link. Everyone understand? Because I have to shift my gear. That's very good. I have to shift. Now what I want you to just go here and make another page. Write another page and write up about.html. Create another page and name it about.html. Right? And just for nothing, copy a basic HTML part over here. I'm just removing everything from the body. Like I need a page which should be about HTML. Okay, so now I won't say my web page. I'll say about me. So I'm renaming the title as well, about me. Right? So I've created another page of about.html. Everyone is ready with that? Now we have two pages: index.html, about.html. And inside that like about.html, let me do something interesting. Again, just use that same technique. Ahref is equal to, for example, I say index.html.
Can you do that again?
I'll do that again. Don't worry.
I missed that.
Go back to home. Right. What you want me to do again? In index, what we have done, we have just added another HTML file in our folder.
Oh yeah.
About.html, right?
Yep.
And in that about.html, nothing to. I have just copied and pasted all HTML code. So I just created an HTML page that has nothing, but okay, I have to do it inside the body. I'm sorry, right? So inside body, what I've done is that I've just added this ahref is equal to go back home, right? You got it? And inside that one, could you copy and paste the whole code on here? I wasn't able. Okay, no problem. I'm copying this about.html code, right? So this one which I'm copying is the about.html. You can just copy it from here.
We cannot copy and paste in the comment. That's
sorry.
the problem. We cannot. There's no function for copy and paste in the comment.
Oh, it's a yes. You told me that there is a problem. Okay, I can do one thing very quickly. Very quickly, and that will give us what I want to do. I will just share a page because by the end of the day, I will of course share with this one, but I'm making a document and I'll share this document with all of you. Okay. I hope you can just copy and paste it from here. Anyhow, I'm sharing a file, and that would be, a Google Doc. You can just write now. Yes, code for class. Save that one, and I want to share it. Copy the link, and okay, that link should also be. You need to copy that link. Okay, I do that. Let's quickly do something interesting. Just bear with me, and I'm about to share a document link where I will be just pasting all this one. Maybe not me, someone else can also paste that code alongside with us, and that will give us a very good sense of everything. Code file, and can you please find an announcement in your page where you will find a document. See if you can just go in that document and access that. I've just shared an announcement with all of you. Can you share that announcement? I don't know why it's not allowing it, and I'll have to, I just forgot to check the settings over here. Yes, are you people able to access that document?
Yep.
Oh, that's very good. And you can copy and paste from that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good. So this is the page of, it's the last page that I've used. So I will be using that one. And please, any one of you, maybe you who's talking to me, you can just do what, whenever we complete a code, you just copy and paste this in that document, right? So please, confirm me that everyone is able to access this document which I have shared for code sharing. Like we have a document now. And I will copy and paste the previous code as well. There was some code that I shared that as well before that.
Oh wait, right now they're asking us for like security code something. They're asking for a require from
okay,
you.
just hold on a minute. Anyone with the link can. I'm just allowing you the edit as well. Okay, anyone with the link on that can link and edit. Now see that if you are able to edit it, or yes, are you able to do that?
Oh yeah, right now okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good.
That's good. Now you're able to access that, right? Okay. Now come back to the business. Now can you copy this and make an about.html? And now we have got these two pages over here. About.html is linking to the back to the main page, home page. And this index.html, we have created a link for the about.html. We'll create that link for the about. Now come to the index page. And for example, just here in the beginning after address, just write down one H3. Oh, sorry, H2 and about me. Right? And what I want to do this, I want to link this one. Link with what? Let's make an A tag. Sorry. Let's make an A tag, href equal to, I want to link it to what? About.html, and this is in my folder, so I don't need to do anything else than that. Just copy this one and paste this one, right? I have just used this line in my index page. Now copying and pasting this line. I have copied and pasted that line as well, if it is there. Oh, why it's not coming? You see, you will find the code over there, about.html, right? So I've placed this code inside my index page and this code, index.html, in my second page. I hope everyone understands what I'm trying to do. Now let's save these two and run our document. Where is our document? It's in localhost, so it is coming. Now you see that I've got this document, and if you go to the top, you should find, which is not there, about me. All of you can see that, and now click on that one. You see we have got another page which says go back to home, and click on that. What is happening? Isn't that cool? We are able to link multiple documents in our page. Okay. Yes, I can do that. I can do that. Okay, right. So I will just copy and paste that one as well. And by the way, as I said, someone else can do this for me as well, if someone wants. So I'm just copying and pasting it over here. So this is the index.html has also come here, right? Yeah. So yes, it's very cool. And we have just started to look something, and you will just enjoy more when we'll work more on. Okay, now let's practice this one. Now let's create one another page and maybe call it contact me, contact.html, right? Contact.html. And in index.html, what I'm doing after this, like let's do it inside that one. Copy this. Control C, and I'm just pasting it inside that one, so that both of them should come. And now I want what? Contact me. Contact me. And I want to access what? Contact.html. Contact.html. Save this one. And how about contact.html? There is nothing over there. So now again, I'm just copying that code. Simple code in contact.html. And here I will rename it contact me. Contact me. And here I will give this link, as well as, I hope you know, Control C, I will give another link. Which link should I give over here? Anyone? I am inside contact right now. About.html?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I can see about me. About me. And I need to make one more change over here in about. In about me, what I'll do? href home, and what I can do? Control V. And what should I link over here? Yes, anyone? Contact.html, right? Because now we are trying to play a trivial game. Contact me. Now save these all and then go back to your page. Right. So we have done lots of things, and I want you to just understand that. About me, if I click about me, I get the about me page. If I click here, go back home, I'll go back to home. If I click about me and I click here, contact me, I'm going to the other page, which is contact.html. And here we have go back home or about me. If I click about me, I'm clicking back to the about me. So now you can play with that, and you can just go to anywhere you want from your pages. Your pages are now all linked together. Isn't that cool again? You say it's very cool. Yeah. Do you find it cool? So these are the things that you want to do. That basically we have got this this way of making links. Okay. So yes, I copied that. So you should give this attribution to me. Okay. So that's interesting. I hope you are enjoying this, like all. Now let's talk about something another interesting part. What is that? There is something called an internal link. Let me just talk about something. Come here, and this P, for example, let's make 4 or 5 more P. Again, just to see some different things. So I've added few different P's, and one of the P I have gone there and I've given this P as ID. ID equal to you can say pictures or picture. I've just given it an ID attribute. ID equal to picture. Can you do that? Everyone just copy and paste paragraph multiple times, and one of the P, you should give it an ID of equal to picture. ID is equal to picture. Right? Everyone has done that. Now, let's place a picture over here as well, just to show that's the thing, right? img src equal to, and what pictures I have? Unsplash. So I'm just doing for nothing, unsplash.jpg, and I've just placed a picture over here, and not setting its width and anything. Now let's run my page. First of all, run my page and see what is happening. So I have got another like, you know, this area where there is a picture over here, right? Because I've placed another picture over here. Now let's come back here, and here I will say, again, I'm inside that same H2 because I'm just linking all my links over here. I say Control C and I say Control V. I want to link it to my picture, which is on the same page, right? So what I will say my picture. My picture. And now, because this link is on my same page, what I need to do, I just need to place a hash and the name of that ID. What was the ID? Picture. If I remember it correctly, yes, picture ID. I need to access the ID. So what I've done is picture. Save this one, and now run this document. Now run this document. About me will take me up somewhere else. This will somewhere else. If I click on my picture, do you see something very interesting over here? What has changed in my URL? Are you observing something about the URL? If you see the URL, not the query, it's not the query, it's basically the fragment. When we create a, and what is opening right now? The opening page, or the opening is directly, it is opening that picture. Yes, it's showing the picture for fragment, and this is called fragmentation. I've created a fragment with name picture, and I'm accessing that fragment by using the link. If you see that I'm using what text, the code I'm using this code. Where is that code? Yeah, this one. So a href is equal to my picture, and my picture is basically linked to that. Interestingly, I can connect to this picture over here as well. You see a href is equal to this one. I'll talk about that. So if I just write hash picture, will it be connected? Anyone? Can anyone tell me, will it be connected this way as I'm using? Will it go to the picture directly? Anyone? Will it go directly to the picture, or there will be something else that will happen over here? Okay, that's very good answer. That's very good answer. Yes. Anyone else? No, because this hash fragment is not on this about page, because it's on a different page. And which page it is? It is at index.html. Index.html hash picture. Okay, first let's check that one. Hash picture, save this one, and what is that page? It's about page. Just go there and try to run that and go to about page. Oh, my picture is here. Click that. Nothing is happening. And why it's not happening? Because my picture does not exist on this page. Rather, it exists where? On index.html. Index.html. Save this one. Now run your file. Go back, or maybe you can just refresh it over here. And right now I'm in about page, right? About page. If I click on my picture, isn't that cool? Again, connecting to different parts of the page. What do you feel about it? Yes, someone has like the last comment is very correct, because it is not in the same page, rather it is in the different page. And if you, that's yes, it's pretty cool. And you, as I said, that you will start enjoying when we'll starting HTML. We were just talking about some JavaScript and things and like that. But anyhow, so let's take a very quick 5 minutes break now. It will be only a 5 minutes break, because I need to just take some, and you also need some stretching or maybe water. So we'll be back after 5 minutes. It's 2:33. I'll be back exactly at 2:38, and then we have to discuss some other fun content. All right, so we are back. Hopefully everyone is here. Let's put up, oh, that's good. Someone asked for the command and someone shared that command. Yes, light dash server. And hopefully you are able to run that. Hi all. So let's put a chat message again for the sense of connection, for the sense of, knowing each other, that we are all here. That's very good. So I'm expecting that now you people are becoming more and more familiar with the HTML elements, HTML things that we want to discuss over here. And now you are having a good sense of all those things that we are talking about. So the last thing, as we were talking about, the relative or absolute path, I just wanted to make, or wanted to tell you one more thing, that we have got this folder over here. So we can create another folder inside that. Maybe create a folder inside that week 6 and call it data. For example, you call it this folder as data. And inside that folder, create a file, another file, and maybe my data or whatever, my data.html. I just created another file which is inside my data, right? And this my data consists of nothing but, again, let's go and copy this one in my data. So make an HTML page, my data, and let's leave these over here. Okay, now save this one. So I've just created another file, but this time I've created this file in a new folder. Keep in mind, I've just put that in a new folder, right? So, and I want to connect it from this part, right? Again, I want to connect this to my data. So let's see what will happen. I just copy it one from here and paste it again. And I want to know my data, which is inside the folder. So now, the usual way is that we usually do what? We just directly give the name. But here we cannot give the direct name. Rather, we need to give a relative path to it. Data / mydata.html. Everyone getting that? Data / mydata.html. And why it is that? Because now I am talking about the page which is not inside this same directory. Rather, it is inside another directory. So I have to go all the way to data folder first, and then you will find that mydata.html. Let's run this one and check whether I'm able to access that about my data page or not. So this is the my data link. Just go and click that. Okay, so we are able to get that mydata.html. Right? Why? Because I have given that one. So now what changes I need to make in mydata.html? Like see here. If I click this one, I'm not getting that page. You see, this is an error. Cannot get data about HTML. There is no data about HTML. I cannot. It says I cannot go to data/index.html. What does that mean? Yes. So there is the solution that is coming from someone. So what I need to do in that my data HTML is that, for example, I need to go one that back. So right, this is the way. This is called, for example, going one folder back. So let's check that. Now run this. Now I am able to access that. Go to my data, about HTML, right? And this is the same thing that we can always use with this one as well. This is this same syntax or this same tradition we can use with what? ./. So when we say ./, what does that mean? We are talking about the same directory, right? Right now I'm inside the directory, right? And let's do it. Now save this one, ./ and now run this one. Go to home and home. I'm just coming to home. Now I have got this about me. If I click that, about.html, if I go back, because I'm going back, contact me.html. And if I go to home, I know my picture. My picture is a internal linking, so it will take me to the same page. And if I go to my data, so it is taking to the my data. And from my data, if I click on that, it is taking me to the index.html. So this syntax of using this dot, this is a very interesting one, and you should be familiar with that, because you will be using that more in your web 3.2.2 and 4.2.2 specifically. So, but again, you should know that this ./ is a syntax, And if you have to go the previous directory, so this double dot will work. Double dot means go to the previous directory. So if I remove one dot from here, it typically means we are talking about the same folder. So if I talk about this, and if I run this one, I've changed this at about. So my page, and I have just did that home. So it says that no, index.html is not found. Why? Because it's trying to find the index.html inside that data, which should not be the case. Rather, it should go for that particular thing, right? So now let's talk about that. Okay, should I expect that now you people will be able to make a very good HTML page? Please bear in mind, no colors and nothing. We have not talked about any colors. We have not talked about any styles. Even we have not talked about how to change the fonts of that web page, because we will be discussing all that in the CSS part. Just don't worry about that. And we very quickly we are going to see the CSS part as well, and you will enjoy that CSS part also. Right. So everyone is with me. Now I want to discuss something about the slides. So you can always just read about these notes, and these are the notes of last class. Like, last class means last week 5, and today I will start from the week 4. So this was something that we were discussing towards the end, and we have just talked about that. And I will just try to. Is it web 322? No, it's web 222. It's web 222. Who says it's web 322? Let me just go back, show you there. Oh, no. It's not. No. It's not what. This is you see, 8 week. 8 week will have the CSS selector and web colors and everything. Don't worry. When you will go out of this course, you will know everything related to this front end part of this application. You will know CSS, and CSS will be, you will ultimately enjoy CSS after HTML, because till now what we see is a very, very basic and very simple sort of page, which is just displaying this thing. I have to discuss that CSS and everything that you will be using to just make them more and more attractive and more catchy to that. Right. So I'm talking about this one. So this one, I've talked about all these things. Structural elements, I'll be talking about that just shortly. And we have talked about, have we talked about OL and UL, ordered list and unordered list? Please remind me, because I don't know.
No.
No. Okay, no problem. I'll just discuss that. Maybe there are some that I need to. So in HTML, let's do all this in about.html, so that we have got another page, right? So I'm just doing that one over here. So I say H2 and lists in HTML. What are the different types of lists in HTML? So there are, basically there are 2 types of lists that we use in HTML, and they are very important, by the way. Why they are important? Because we use those lists to display different contents on our web pages. So one of the list is called OL. It is called ordered list. OL, ordered list. What is the ordered list? I'll tell you. First of all, so ordered list, how do we create ordered list? That every element should be followed by an li tag, list item. We create an ordered list, right? Let me write down a comment over here. Ordered list, right? So in ordered list OL, every element is basically should be followed by, every element should be followed by an li, list items, right? So for example, I want to say web 222, or maybe we can write anything else. So you start naming countries, Canada, right? Another li, and I will, sorry, li and USA, for example, li Russia or something, whatever. We just want to have some data. So li and Australia, right? So just to have some data. So ordered list is basically something, and we are doing it what in about HTML. Please bear in mind. Let's save this one, and let's go to our document, and let's go to our about me page, right? So now we have got this liberty of having multiple pages. So here you see ordered list. So ordered list is basically when you want numbering in it, numbering with the list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what about if you want to have a list of ABC, type equal to A, right? If you do type equal to A in OL, you will see that your list will be changed to ABC, ABCD. If you want a Roman numeral, you can just write a Roman I or capital I. This will become a Roman numeral, and this will now show our code in Roman code. Screenshot.png on my SRC not showing a picture from index.html. Okay. Right. So would you mind sharing your screen? Maybe if we can just quickly look at it, what is going on? If you can share your screen, is that possible? Because I cannot say without looking at it how it's, or if you say I can place you in a breakout room and we can discuss it over there. If you're not comfortable sharing your screen here. Yeah, I need answer from you. Okay, that's right. But it's very easy to share it screen, no problems. If you don't want, no problems. But can you like you can do that, and why not just copy and paste these two things in my document, that document I've shared, right? So that I'll see it over there, right? Because sometimes, so in that document, code for class, you can just go and use that. Maybe, I don't know. Anyhow, so we'll talk about that. So if you cannot share a screen, of course, that will be a problem right now. Anyhow, so we can have this one. So type is equal to something. So ordered list is what? The numbering if you want to use. Numbering is basically what? It shows that you have got. So another very important thing. If during the mid of the screen, you want to say mid of the list, you want to say that I want to go to, for example, 89 and now start 89 numbering from 89. I can give it a value, save this one. This is one good way of learning the Roman numeral as well. So Roman, it will say 89, right? So this is basically, it has gone to 89. Is it 89? Sure. Yeah, 89. Let's make it first a simple one, then we'll say 9. Let's save it and check this. So yes, it has gone to 9 and 10. Then the list that continues afterward, after like that. Okay, yes, I will place all the folder. Yes, I will place all the folder. Don't worry. Okay, so you see that we have got this one and we have got this value is equal to, so value can change that. So this is the first type of list. Now the other type of list we have is UL, unordered list, right? Unordered list, and also its all elements should be followed by the same li. So let me just copy that one, not typing them again and again. So everything should be followed by, and there is no need of value here because it's not an ordered list. Now you see here, unordered list is basically bullets. Bullets in HTML are unordered list. You see here, OL is the ordered list, 1, 2, 3 list items. UL is the unordered list, bullets of items, and LI is the list item, or the item that you want to include in the list. Oh, okay, that's good. Okay, so now if you see here that we have talked about LI, UL, and OL. There are other tags other as well, but let's talk about another one. Block quote. Block quote is an extended quotation. Let's talk about this one, and let's try to put that in our this file. After the picture, for example, I want to have, after the main heading, I want to have one text that is, for example, let's place a P. And inside that, I'm bringing a lorem. So a lorem ipsum I've just brought in. And if I run this, you see, I'm talking about the home page now, right? I am at home page. Okay, looks like it's not coming. Yeah, so it's the page over here, but it's normal text. Now, what is block code? What does block code do? And I will use that. Yes, please bear in mind, in next class, I will use that. Block code is a tag that I will use. I'll tell you why. Control X, and I am pasting it towards the end of it. Yeah, here, right? So I've used the block code. Now you see the difference. Do you find any difference between these two? Block code and paragraph? So now the block code means it would be just bumped up from the left and bumped up from the right side. It would be a, if you see those research articles, you see that abstract in that form, that abstract is basically bumped up from the both sides in a smaller form shape, something. So block quote is typically like that. So block quote is what? An extended quotation. It's extended quotation means this is something that we use to just specify some interesting parts, right? So block quote, we'll be using that block quote by the way. Right, and this div tag is a very interesting one, and we will talk about that div in very much detail. But for the time being, just to understand that div basically creates a section in our web page, a box in our web page. Div creates a box like structure, generic container. It's also called a generic container, a container that contains generic things together. And what we can do is that we can apply a particular CSS style on that. For example, you say that whenever my code comes, whenever my something comes, it should be of red color. So we'll put that all code or all that sectioning into one generic container. That generic container will be div, div, right? So these are the content organizers in a box form. Like again, div is a box, ol is a box. Box means ol also has some existence over that. ul, li, p paragraph is also a box sort of something, you know, when we implement a p. And then we have talked about block code. Now, if you talk about inline text, so inline text is very interesting. Do you remember any inline text we have used today? Inline tag that we have used today? Anyone remember that? One of the inline tag we have used. I hope if you understand that one. No, anchors was not. No, href not. Keep on guessing. Yes, you are right. Ahref and anchors are also right. These are the inline. You are right. Very right. But there was some other one as well that I discussed when I was discussing block level and inline level elements. Can anyone come up with those? Yeah. Waiting for someone to come up. You remember ABBR, the abbreviation? No, H2 is the block level. By the way, H2 is not an inline. You remember ABBR abbreviation, abbreviated? So you remember abbreviation we have used today. Where is that? Where is that? This one, ABBR. So this is basically a inline level. And please bear in mind that why it is an inline. You see that all ABBR are coming in a single line. While as the P is coming in a new line, H2 is coming in a new line, H3 is coming in a new line, things like that, right? And this AHRF is also coming in the same line. So they also are the inline. You were right. Everyone was right. All right, so let's talk about some other things. Then we have this elegant HTML5, rich media element. Okay, no, sorry. Anchor. So inline text, A is the anchor tag. Anchor tag. Code. We have not talked about the code. Let's talk about that code as well. After address, I'm just writing code. And I write printf, right? Your old good friend. Printf. Hello HTML. Because people don't like hello world. So I've just given them printf hello HTML. So you see that it's very, you know, bumped up with that one. So let me just make it a bit separate from that. Okay. So you see that it's coming in a code form. So it's another semantic understanding of my document that whenever a crawler comes, whenever a search engine comes and try to read my code, it will know that here I have written down a code that specifically refers to some programming language. That makes sense to everyone? Referring to the programming language, any of the programming language it would be referred to. Right? So this is code, and then we have EM for emphasized. And as I said, I will be using that as well. So what is emphasized? For example, I want to say Toronto should be emphasized. So I write EM and I cut that one. And I paste this one, save, and let's see what difference Toronto has made now. So you see, Toronto is, it was already, I think, it was already emphasized or italicized. It's basically another form of like italicizing. So let's do that, or anything that is not like that. For example, images. I want to emphasize images, for example. Images, even though it is an H3, it will be emphasized also, because we have just overridden its style. So you see here images, it's basically italicizing. So emphasize EM, basically italicize your text. Right, so EM, there is a span. Span is very interesting. And again, it's also the inline type of something. For example, there was a text going on and you want to connect this ipsum with Google, or for example, there is a Google word here and you want to connect this Google. So what you will do is that you will put a span here, right? And maybe, for example, put a span around Google, and then in span you will say that ahref equal to https://www.google.com, inverted commas close, this one close, A is closed here. Just cut that one and paste this one, save this one. I know someone will be saying I'm going very fast. I'm not going fast at all. I'm just making you trying to cover a few things. If you see that Google link would have appeared here, and if I click on this Google link, this will take me to the Google website. I hope no one is lost and everyone is with me till now. So because I'm just using span is the new thing. So span does what? Span, if you want to implement a particular style, particular linking, particular class to a particular area, yes, of course, everyone will need practice. Don't worry, everyone will need practice. But if you honestly do practice, you will really enjoy this, and you will start making things in HTML. And as I said, once we'll jump into that CSS part, that is definitely going to be a very very interesting part of it. Yes, of course. You can give this credit to me that as well, that I'm just trying to make it more and more fun for you. Anyhow, yes, you're right. What I say is that rather than other programming, web development is more fun. Why? Because everything that you do is like, again, it's all very cool and very in front of you. It's always running in front of you, so you can always have that. Yes, you're right. Okay. Yes, so you have your own experiences with other courses. I don't know, but anyhow, let's talk about this. So this is basically the spanning or span element that we have. Right, let's go back here. Span done. Like in multimedia, we have talked about image, audio. You can just use the audio in the same way as we have done in video. So we have done another one, canvas. We'll use this maybe sometimes. Canvas allow us to make 2D or 3D graphics, and we'll talk about that canvas, right? In conjunction with JavaScript, we'll just talk about how we can just use canvas to do that. And in the end, we have that script tag, and we will use this script tag. I will just give you quick references in our today, like next week session. Next week means the week 6, which we are right now. And I have just I'm just about to start that week over here. And I'll just quickly look at few things. You'll enjoy that, and then we will just end our today's class, and we'll talk about some other important aspects. Right. So HTML element type, block versus inline. Right. So we have got HTML element types. This is like, as we have talked about it, and we were just talking about that. There are a few tags which are called block level. There are a few tags which are called inline, and the block level and inline are different. What does that mean? Block level elements create a block of content in a page with an empty line before and after them. Block level elements fill the width of their parent element. Block level elements can contain other block elements, inline elements, or text. Good. Which one? In a first eye view, of course, you can find out what are the block level elements. Do you see that this one? Let me just show its source so that we can just find out which one is that. If you see H2, or maybe just let's go to the top. If I ask you, is this block level or not? Please put a Y or N. Is this H1 block level or not? Of course, yes, that's good. Abbreviation, is it a block level or inline? Is it a block level abbreviation? No, that's good. If you talk about this H2 is a block level. You can see that the boxes over here as well, right? The time, no, this time, is it a block level or no? No. And what is this address? Is it a block level or no? It's not, because I put in BR inside that. Yes, that's good. So this BR is a very innocent tag. How about code? How about code? Is it an inline or no? No, it's basically it's having its own existence. It's not like bumping up anything after that. So then we have H3 that has a bump over there, and then we have these images H3 video. Okay, so these are all the tags. So block level tags are basically block level elements are those that create a block in themselves. They are a block, right? And inline elements create an inline content, which is a part of containing block. Inline elements can contain other inline elements. And you have seen this example that I have done just right now, that span is an inline element, and it can contain another inline element inside it. And you see that A is another inline element, which is over here inside that, right? So inline element can contain the other inline elements. Of course, that is very true. Empty elements. This is very interesting. Empty elements. If you remember, we have talked about that. What is an element? Do you remember? The starting tag, the everything in between that, and the ending tag. This collectively is called an element. You remember? I hope everyone remembers that. An element is collection of all these things. The starting tag, the ending tag, and everything in between. This is called the element. Now, what is empty element? You see that BR. Do we have a pair of this BR? No, because BR is a singular tag. And you remember I talked about that BR is a singular tag, and alongside of a tag, BR can be also called as an empty element. Why? An element without any contents. An element without any contents is called empty element. For example, if I just do not write anything in between this H1, you will say this element is an empty element. Are you getting the point? Empty element is an element that does not have contents in between that. Now let's see about that. Many of the items you have seen so far begin with an opening tag and end with a closing tag. Body. However, not all elements need to be closed. Some elements have no content, as we have seen in BR, and therefore don't need to have a closing tag. We call these as empty elements. We call them as what? Empty elements. An example of this BR line break. We use BR whenever we want to tell a browser to insert a new line, similar to using backslash in C. We were used to use backslash B. So here we just put a BR, and this BR does not have any contents of its own. It's just there innocently standing there, and what it will do, whenever it will be reached, a new line will be inserted and the text will go to the new line. Right? Other examples of an empty element are HR. One of the element is HR. This is a very interesting one. I hope you have used that HR tag. There is no other companion required for this HR. And if I run this file, let me just close this one. You see that there is a line. HR is called horizontal ruler. And I know that you would be waiting for CSS. Through CSS, I can handle how long this should go and what should be the text, things like that. There are lots of things that I need to do. So basically, that is an empty element. So empty element are of different types, and this HR is also an empty element. Meta is also an empty element, right? And there are a dozen others. There are lots of others that you can use, right? So now grouping elements. Again, I will end at the same point where I ended last time, but again, this time we are on a very different node. But on Monday, we will just start from here, and we have to discuss something very interesting, some very interesting aspect of it. Often we need to group elements into, so grouping of element. Now, please remember, there are two types of containers. One containers are called the generic containers that are generic in nature, and that are basically that have, you know, that do not carry a semantical meaning. Now see here, div and span. Div is a generic block level container. Span is a generic inline container. What is the difference between a block level container and inline container? I hope you know that. A block level container, a container that will come as a block. An inline container that contains within a line, within inline, but that would have another section in it. We can implement some different style on that inline, span. So div and span, these are the two containers which are called generic container, not semantic container. Someone asked this question in the very beginning, semantic container. How can I know semantic meaning? So you see here, when I place a div or a span, I don't know what I am placing inside them. But let's talk about here. Just quick reference. If I say footer, does that turns on a bulb in your mind that footer means we are talking about something at the very bottom of the page? Is that right, everyone? Do you understand that? So that is the semantical understanding of the tag. That looking at the tag, you know that what we are doing. But if you talk about div can fall at the very beginning of the page, div can come in the middle of the page, div can come in the end of the page. But if I say footer, would you know that it would be definitely the last part of the web page, the lowest end of the web page? And then talk about something else, something header. When I say header, you will say, oh, okay, head is something which is the part of HTML which is not shown on our web page other than title. So header will be something at the top of the page, right? Top of the page. Then nav has come from navigation. Do you think that navigation will have something else? No, nav means content related relation to the navigation. So whenever I'll just go and read the nav tag, I'll be talking about the navigational links of there. then main, then article. We'll talk about, and what we'll do in the next class, we'll try to take a page, for example, Wikipedia, and you will enjoy that next page. I'm just giving a teaser introduction for the next class. Why? Because I want all of you to just, of course, you all always join, but I'm just giving a teaser introduction of next class. What I'll do is, I'll try to do is that I will take this Wikipedia page and try to imitate that page over here. Right? This is a teaser introduction of the next class. So we'll take one page, for example, JavaScript, and I'll try to make this one in HTML. Of course, I cannot make it like something like these cool graphics with these cool graphics, but the HTML part, the structural part, I'll try to just make it. And there I'll say, for example, if I ask every one of you, do you understand that this would be the footer part? Logically, do you understand this will be the footer part of it? Do you understand that logically, if you talk semantically, if you talk about, this is the navigation part where all the links are lying. There, my mouse is moving around. This one is the logical navigation part. Or you understand that this will be the header part, maybe header part containing the link and everything. So the teaser introduction for next class is that we'll take this JavaScript page and we'll try to produce the HTML for that. So far, so good. Everyone is understanding that? So I'm stopping here because now I am tired. I cannot speak anymore. Got everyone? I need some feedback from all of you that you people now understand everything that we have discussed. So I've